start thinking about that lovely Pilates stance. So little connection between the inner thighs, tummy button to spine, feeling your big toe, little toe and heel firmly earthed. And we're going to take the arms to the side, reach for the ceiling. And if you want to just give a little stretch back, ever so tiny, do that. Leave your waists where they are. Allow your shoulders to drop and bring your arms back down. And again, sweeping the arms up. Reach for the ceiling as tall as you can. And leave your waist nice and tall, drawing the tummy button in. One more, sweeping up. Reach for the ceiling. Leave the shoulders there. Drop the shoulders, leave the waist there. And then backs of the hands together. And we'll do our lovely shoulder release. So keeping the elbows as straight as possible. Working those shoulders around. Using your breath. Keeping things small to start with, and then if you can, if it's not too painful, gradually increasing all the time, keeping those elbows nice and straight. A little bit of a bend there, Marie. Keep them as straight as possible. Make the roller smaller if you need to. Because if the elbows bend, nothing much is working around the shoulder joints. And it's quite challenging, I find. I have to really think about it. Just a couple more. And then you can take your arms down by your sides again and then bring them out in front of you. I'm going to turn to the side, but you stay where you are. So we'll do our lovely chest expansion. Think about the back of the arm, the tricep, pressing behind you through water. And at that point, just lift the heart a little bit and bring them back again. So breathing out to press away, keeping control of the tummy button to spine, then lift the heart, keeping that connection. And return. And again, pressing back. This time, if you want a bit of rotation like we do with the arrow, just rotate your thumbs in and towards the wall behind you and back. And a couple more like that for me. That's it. Still imagine you're holding an orange under your chin or something, just to make sure, even though you're lifting your heart, you've got a nice neck placement. And add on some balance to that. So squeezing the inner thighs together, squeezing the bum, strong ankles. They might not have been doing too much over Christmas. And especially in these cold, slippy times, we need our ankle stability. That's it. So breathing out, press away, come onto our toes. And down. Two more. That's looking nice and stable. Really focus on that inner thigh connection. That'll help as well. And let's move on to one side and add some rotation. So we can still come up with balance. Rotate the ribs around, taking one arm behind you, keeping it as straight as possible. And probably, I find I turn my neck a little bit further with these, even though we're trying to keep the hips forward and just go where the ribs are going. You can get a bit more neck stretch to loosen off any tension. There's a lot going on, challenging that balance. Keep those hips facing forward though. Tummy buttons to spine, shoulders nice and relaxed. One more this side. And then stay there, stick with the same side, make a fist, and we'll just add in some tricep and bicep work. So same thing, lead with the elbow and then straighten it to get a little bit of stretch through the upper arm and through the shoulder. So you're leading with the elbow, straighten it so your palm would be going underneath and behind, facing the ceiling, coming back up. Hopefully that doesn't cause pain. It's not comfortable, but you should feel a lovely stretch down that front of the arm. All the time working on that balance, all the time drawing tummy button into the spine. So even though it's fairly simple movements, nothing too fancy, the whole body's still working and waking itself up. One more of these. And then change to the other side. Start with just the basic rotation, so keeping the hips forward, just rotating the ribs round, arm comes behind you, and then coming back down. And notice whether one side you're finding the rotation easier and the balance easier. Still focusing on those ankles being nice and strong, coming straight upwards, inner thighs connecting to help with that little bum squeeze, tummy button to spine, shoulders relaxed. That's it. One more. And then add on. So lead with the elbow. Take the arm underneath and straighten it. And notice your wrist as well, actually. It should stay in a straight line, so your hand shouldn't bend. Still think tummy button to spine, shoulders down, away, getting that lovely stretch through the upper arm. Inner thighs working, everything working. One more. And then come to the end of your mat, and we're going to end up on our hands and knees. We're going to do some roll downs to start with. So same thing as how we started, reach for the ceiling. And if you want to, you can put your palms together, see if they reach today. And then sweep round, nod the chin, nod the head, nod the upper back, and just reach towards your knees, no further to start with. And then breathing in, breathing out, start peeling back up. Breathing in, reach for the ceiling again. Breathing out, tummy button to spine, coming down to maybe shin level, halfway down the lower leg. Breath in, tummy button to spine, sweep back up, reach for the ceiling. This time we're going down to your ankles if you possibly can, sending the tailbone up the wall behind you. If you can hold your ankles, just open your elbows and draw your body in towards your legs for a little stretch down the back. And one more, breathing in. Fill the lungs with air, reach for the ceiling. And then on this one, gradually roll down all the way. If you need to keep your knees soft, please do. And end up in hands and knees. And I'll re-angle my camera so you can see my mat. Lovely. So finding your lovely quadruped position, look for hip over knee, shoulder over wrist, and think about the forearms facing, your 4 fingers facing forward, creases of the elbows facing each other, little bend in the elbows to make sure it's not bone on bone, and allow the shoulders just to be on the back of your body, and we'll work them in this position. So imagine your scapula, the big bones, coming towards each other to give them a kiss. Then they wrap round the side of your body and you press away. So sort of like a little push-up, but it's just all happening in the shoulders. So think tummy button to spine, the upper shoulder will be away from the ears, your gaze will be just slightly in front of your fingers. Your back is not arching and curving, you're just pressing or allowing the shoulders to smoothly glide around the back of your body and around the sides and to the front of your body. Maud, be careful you're arching your upper back quite a bit. Think about just sliding the shoulders. Take your imagination to this area and think sideways movements. That's better, that's much better. That's it. Good. It's bizarrely tough in this position, isn't it? Because we've got our body weight and we're still trying to control everything. That's looking good, Fiona. Good, Caroline. That's it, Marie. Keep an eye on those elbows, but I think they're all right from here. One more. And then let's take our focus down our body to the hip area and bum. So going to tuck under. Imagine we're just doing a little pelvic tilt here, not all the way, and then send the tailbone up to the ceiling. So tucking in again, keeping the back as straight as possible. Tummy button drawing into the body. Really small movements, working and warming up the lumbar spine. Think about those upper shoulders, draw them down your back away from your ears. Yes, Marie, they moved, didn't they? Good. One more like this. And then let's do a little hip hitch. So taking and shortening one side of the body, one hip towards one shoulder blade, still keeping the back flat. And again, it might be tiny movement. Still thinking tummy button drawing into the spine, shoulders sliding down your back. So tiny little side bends. That's it. Good. One more in each direction. And we'll put it all together, turn it into a little twerk or draw a little circle. So you're sending your tailbone up, round, down. Same direction. I'll ask you to do 10 in each direction at your own speed, as big as you like, but if you feel any pinching in that lumbar spine, please make it small. So you can imagine your Miley Cyrus doing a nice twerk, or you're just drawing little circles on the wall behind you. Good. And when you've done 10 in each direction, not rushing you at all, just sit back. I find these tiny movements some of the hardest to do. It really highlights all my creaks and aging body areas. So it's really nice to focus on. Don't forget to breathe either. In through the nose, out through slightly pursed lips, filling your lungs and allowing all the air to escape. Good. Yes, don't worry. We're going to do some wrist and hand exercises because that will have felt tough. I know it felt really tough for me when I practiced that. So let's get our hands involved and we will simply do opposition, which is each finger to thumb working through, seeing how our hands are working. I haven't noticed any of you having issues, so that's it, good. They make nice little stars, magic fairy dust. Good. Then a stop sign and just waving from side to side. It's all very silly, but important as we age as well, to be able to use our wrists and our hands. And then like the Queen, little wave or unscrewing a light bulb. And a lot of the focus here is also around the elbow area. That's it. And then try and do Spock fingers. I have to watch them, otherwise I have no hope. Yeah, as soon as I look at you, I can't do it. Good, I'm well impressed. And then we will stretch out. So want to press the back of your hand. Should be able to have 90 degrees. If you've got mobility issues, then you might not go very far. You might go far too far if your ligaments aren't working. And then change sides. Well, that's all good. This is the hard one. Brilliant. Oh, that's good to know. Final little wriggle, and then we'll finish off on hands and knees again. Everything should feel a lot looser. So back into your quadruped position. Have a look at your feet. I didn't mention those before. Make sure that they're pointing in line with your knees. And we'll do our dog. So you can start just sliding an opposite arm and leg away and back to the start. So again, the shoulders away from the ears, tummy button to spine. If you're feeling confident and happy, of course, go into that nice long lift straight away. You're aiming not to drop the hip. And you're aiming for your leg to be in line with your bottom and your back, so it's not going up and you're hitching down at all. It's a nice long line. And again, gaze just in front of your fingers, nodding the chin a little bit to imagine you've got an orange under it. That's it. And you're coming back to the same place each time, so you're not walking up and down the mat, ideally. Okay, I want everyone to stop just for 2 seconds. Everyone's shoulders are up by their ears, so give them a little release. Bring them up to your ears and then allow them just to draw down. And again, up. And really slide them down the butter. Up and down. And draw them down a bit further. Think squeezing oranges under the armpits, so you feel stretch there. Keep that connection and feeling as you come back onto your hands and knees. Nod the chin, so you've got length through the back of your legs, your neck. And keep those shoulders drawing down and then get back to it. That looks better. More, nod your chin a tiny bit more, that's it. So imagine you're holding that orange. And don't allow your lower back to sink. So think drawing up through the tummy button, everybody. So you've got no sinking as you send the leg back. Really focus, if you want to, on just sending it away on the mat and then lifting, so you know that you've got control. And if you don't feel you've got control today, there's nothing to be ashamed of. Just focus on legs or arms. Because after a festive break, when there's been a lot of relaxation in amongst the tension, standards start to slip. So we reset our bodies. And it's the same for me, same for everyone. So one more. And then we focus on one side. So going to extend an arm and leg away, and then we're going to hold it there for balance and just bring the knee in towards the body and sending it away. 10 on each side. So trying to keep it when it extends back at bum height. Marie, soften that standing elbow. Yep, get the muscles moving. Drawing the tummy buttons, everyone. Keep it nice and slow. If you're finding that balance a bit much today, have the hands down and just focus on the leg. Don't want to cause any injuries. So 10 on one side. And then swap sides, set yourself up, make sure there's a little softness in the elbow to get the muscles working, shoulders away, tummy button drawing into the spine, nice and slow, drawing that bent knee in and extending the leg away. That's it. Good. And again, one side might be easier than the other. Fiona, that's looking great this side. Good, Caroline. That's it. And when you're done, just sit back. Fab. Let's roll onto our side straight away then. Grab a cushion so you've got something behind your head, because we're going to start with releasing the chest again. So you want to think about the underneath shoulder drawing away, so you've got a nice long neck, top line drawing away, and a slight gap underneath the underneath waist. You can use the front of your mat as a guide for where your shins are. So imagine you're sitting in a chair, palms of the hands together. And we're going to do this 3 different ways. To start off with, we're going to draw the arm across the body, open it behind us. You can watch it go, keeping the knees and the hips down, and then slide it back again. So again, palms start together and end together. We're just rotating the chest so the arm may not reach the floor. And then slide it forward. And then standard one up to the ceiling. And open. Breathing out, tummy button to spine. Draw the ribs back to close again. And another one up to the ceiling. And open. Breathing out, tummy button to spine. Use those deep muscles to pull the ribs back. And then 2 arm circles. So reaching down towards your knees, turning the palm as you circle round, up towards the head and round. And another one this way for me. Watch it go. And then if you're comfortable, take it the other way too. So going up towards your head first, circling round, nice and slow and controlled. And one more. That's it. Good positioning, everyone. And then lengthen those legs away, lengthen the underneath arm away. And if you want a pad between that head and the arm, please do. Again, draw the underneath arm down so the shoulder is away from your ears. Angle your legs so you can see them out of the corner of your eye. Give everything a stretch away from you. And as you breathe out, tummy button to spine, and lift and hover. Look towards the mat if you're lifting your head. And then come back down as you breathe in. So you think underneath waist lifting, underneath leg lifting both the legs, and down. So your shoulders relax if you need a hand in front for balance. Just light touch. That's fine. So breathing out to lift. And breathing in to lower. Caroline, roll forward ever so slightly. That's it. That's better. Good. If you're feeling anything in your lower back, just bring your legs slightly further forward and make sure the head lift is ever so tiny and just a tiny hover. That's it, Marie. Lovely. Good, Maud. That's it, Fiona. Good. One more. And then we'll lift the top leg to hip height and we'll focus on the underneath leg, lifting and lowering. And again, focuses on stretching that top leg away, squeezing the inner thigh to lift and lower. And then the feet are not doing anything. They're just hanging at the end of those legs. So no pointing and twisting. Breathing out to lift. Breathing in to lower, slow and controlled as you possibly can. Keeping the head down, keeping the shoulders relaxed, keeping tummy button to spine. That's looking very nice, everyone. Good stability. Two more. And from there, we're going to lift that top leg again, and we're just going to bend the knee in towards the body and extend it away. So it starts off feeling nice and easy. The more you do, the slightly more challenging it feels. So really focus on drawing tummy button into the spine, keeping the shoulders nice and relaxed. Again, because of the movement, you might need a hand in front for balance. Just going to do two more of these. Final one. And we'll add on a shelter here. So we're going to bend the knee in and open, close. Keep the knee bent, take it in line with the underneath leg and shell and close. So in, open the knee, knee comes down, back in line with the underneath leg, open, and down. Keep going. Yes, that's looking good. Hard work, but so good for us. Lovely. Keep those tummy buttons drawing in to make sure the backs are safe. One more up to the chest. One more in line with the leg. And the final one, well, no, not final one on the side. Turn the feet so they're in ballet first position. So one set of toes is pointing to the floor, the other to the ceiling. We'll do developate, put it all together. So drawing the top leg up towards the body, heel down, knee into the body, extend to stretch the hamstring, flex the foot, squeeze the inner thigh. So again, hand in front for balance, perfectly fine because there's a lot of movement going on. So you draw it in, foot down, knee into the body, extend, flex and squeeze. Draw it in, foot down, knee into the body, extend, flex and squeeze it down. It feels so nice, doesn't it? Good. Lovely. Make sure when you bring the knee in and then send the leg to the ceiling, you're not just sinking into the mat. You've still got to hold that underneath waist to get those obliques doing some work. Make this your final one. Shoulders nice and relaxed. Oh, good. Then cross the top leg over the underneath leg. Come up to a sitting sort of position. We'll start with some side bends, but start on our forearms. So Stay nice and small to start with, no arms involved. Tummy button spine thing underneath waist, hoisting you up. Look down towards the mat and then come back down again. So just a few in this position. One more. And let's bring an arm into it. So the top arm, as you lift your underneath waist, arm to the ceiling, arm overhead, back to the ceiling and down. That's it. So lifting underneath waist, up to the ceiling, over, back to the ceiling and down. One more of these, lifting up, over, back to the ceiling and down. You can stick with that, or if you want to do the full side bend, extend your arm onto the wrist, think squeezing the orange under armpit, extend the legs. And again, same thing, so lifting up, big hoist, squeezing the thighs together. Oh, my underneath arm is shaking like anything. And down. So you're thinking up and away, arm to the ceiling, arm overhead, up and down. That's looking good, everyone. One more. Don't sink into the shoulders, upper shoulders, away from the ears. That's it, good. And then relax, sort of. Good, brilliant. Finally, Marie's taking her fleecy jumper off. Good. Let's roll over onto our fronts and we will do some back extension. So find the front of your thighs on the mat, extend the legs away, tucking the tailbone away so your pubic bone is into the mat nice and earthed, shoulders dripping down. Going to keep the hands under the forehead. And as we breathe in, think reaching the heart and the crown of the head away from you, pressing into your forearms and gradually lifting off ever so slightly, and then coming back down again. So breathing in to extend away and lift up. So I'm feeling a really nice stretch from my tummy button upwards and nothing down here. So if you're feeling anything in your lumbar spine, just keep it really small and think, reaching the head away a bit more. Let's see how we're getting on. That's it. You don't have to come up really high. Want to think about the back of the shoulders sliding down towards the hips. Stretch from that tummy button all the way up through your chest. That's it. One more of these. And then this time, have your right hand on your forehead and it's going to stay there. So you're going to leave your left hand on the mat. As you breathe in, reach forward with the head and lift. Oh, just holding your back of your right hand on your forehead and back down again. So breathing into lift and extend. That's it. So both front of your hips glued into the mat, your pubic bone is staying earthed. So it's just that upper back peeling off. That's it. Everyone think a little bit more, reach forward first before lifting. So we're really trying to focus on the top, round the shoulder blades, lifting off the mat. If you're getting any cramp with the feet, just walk it off. And then change to the other side. So you've got your left back of hand glued to your forehead. So same thing, reaching forward and then lifting off. That's it. So you're having to hold the weight of your arm as you work your thoracic spine. Two more. we'll bring a leg into it. So back to the right hand side, back of the hand glued down. We're just going to extend and lift the left leg as we lift our right side, if that makes sense. Like 5 on each side. Same as we think about with swimming, thinking about the back of the thigh, just where it meets the bum, in that bum crease area, so your leg is nice and long. Lengthening both ends of your body away before the lift. That's it, Maud, lovely. Good, Fiona, good, Marie. Make sure there's no bend in any knees. And then when you've done your 5 one side, swap to the other. Make sure you think lengthening away, shoulders again away from the ears. Keep that pubic bone earth, think squeezing from the hamstring where it meets the one. That's it, Caroline, nice control. Good. That's very nice, everyone. When you've done, sit back into a child pose to release any tension. Fab. And then you're going to roll over onto the other side. I'll stick with my same side because of my headphone. Setting yourself up first off for a lovely chest release. So imagine you're sitting in that chair, underneath shoulder drawn down. Length through the top of the body. And we start off 2 across. Palms start facing each other and end up facing each other. And then 2 up to the ceiling and opening. Marie, think the top hip reaching away from you a bit more. That's it, good. And then 2 circles. First 2 reaching down to the legs first, and then up over your head. So work at your own breath pattern. And again, make the shoulders, the circles as small as you need to. If there's any pain in the shoulder, we don't want that at all. It's just a beautiful release. And then final circles, 2 up towards the head and round. Watching the arm go. Keeping those knees and hips glued together. And then when you've done, lengthening away for our double leg lift. So feel free to use your mats as guides for a nice long line underneath shoulders, still drawing down, underneath waist, drawing up, stretching your legs away. And then when you're set up, breathing out to lift and breathing in to lower. All the time, keeping that Christmas Satsuma under your chin. And looking at the ground if you're getting any tension through the neck. Thinking the underneath leg, doing the heavy lifting. So you've got some inner thigh connection. It might not be a very big lift. Want to really make sure your legs don't suddenly go behind you or you don't rock forward and back. Drawing the underneath waist away from the mat to keep everything safe and secure. And yeah, hands in front for balance if you need. Good. We'll have 2 more. And then we lift the top leg to hip height. And we're thinking squeezing the underneath leg up and down. Again from the inner thigh. Having to hold that top leg still as possible. Thinking tummy button to spine. Underneath waist drawing away from the mat. Shoulders relaxed as much as possible down the old body. Good. That underneath foot, Fiona, is trying to get involved, but it's much better than it was. That's it, breathing out to squeeze it up. Looking good, everyone. 2 more. And then again, I would recommend hand in front for balance, keeping the top leg at hip height, bending the knee into the body and straightening it, keeping it at hip height. Still trying to keep the body as stable as possible. Shoulders down. So more, bring the knee more into the body rather than just bending. Yes, that's it. Extra work. Good. 2 more on this basic one. Keep those shoulders relaxed. Keep those tummy button in. And then in your next, bring it in. Just open the knee to the ceiling and close. Take the knee back in line with the underneath leg and shell open there. That's it. And this is where the shoulders will start to tense. The harder it gets, the more you do. So really focus on relaxing, using those abs and the core to keep you secure and stable. You're doing a brilliant job. That's it. You do 1 more set into the body and 1 more set away. Lovely. And then turn the toes so underneath leg is towards the floor, and we'll develop a, so draw the foot in, heel down, knee in, extend, flex and squeeze it down. Knee to the body, extend the leg, flex and squeeze the inner thighs. And you're all together getting a lovely hamstring stretch. Lovely, Maud. Good, Marie. Good, Fiona. That's stable. Caroline, lovely. And 1 more. And end by crossing the top leg over the underneath leg, coming up to side sitting position. And we'll do our side bends here. So breathing out, think drawing up through the underneath waist, just coming onto the knees and back down. So we find our strength first. And down. 1 more basic one, up. And then we can bring the arms into it. So arm to the ceiling, arm overhead, watch it go back and down. Do 2 more of those for me. Sinking underneath waist, making sure you're not sinking into that underneath shoulder. You've got space from your ear to that upper shoulder. Good, and either stay in that position or extend your legs away a little bit more, extend the underneath arm away, and we'll do full side plank. Again, squeezing the orange under armpits, arm up and overhead, and down. So you're almost sending your, well, you are sending your body up and over towards that underneath arm. That's looking lovely. One more up, over, back, and down. Good, well done. Back onto your fronts. We'll just do one more set of swimming and hamstring work. So this time, proper swimming, arms out in front of you if you can do. If you want your pad under your forehead, squeeze the bottom, hover the legs, draw the shoulders down, hover the arms, and opposite arm and leg, tapping down, keeping everything straight, reaching away from you. If that's too much, just set yourself up again and just lift opposite arm and leg. Or if your shoulders are playing dodgy today, you can have your hands under your forehead. So trying to go as fast as you can without rocking from side to side. And always have a little rest in between. Reset yourself up and go again. That's looking great. Good. And I'll count you down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relax, sit back into a child pose. Good. Coming back onto our hands and knees. We'll do some hamstring curls. So find the wide shoulders, extend a leg away, lift it back up to hip height. And we're just going to do 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, just bend and extend, 2, and 1, change sides. It's a coordination nightmare, I know. It feels so different in space, doesn't it? So you're keeping that leg at hip height and just bend and extend. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. And we'll release the back off with some lovely cat stretching. So again, just double check where your feet are in line with your knees, starting nice and straight backed, then thinking about tucking the tailbone under, this time walking imaginary fingers all the way along your spine until your head drops between your elbows, and then unpeel from the tailbone. Again, imaginary fingers walking down your spine until your head lifts in line. And do another one from here. So tucking the tailbone under first, arching the lower back, then middle back, then upper back. Marie, soften the elbows. Thank you. And unpeel from the tailbone first. That's it, Caroline, good. Then do 2 from the head. Dropping the head between the shoulders first, arching the upper back and the middle back, then tucking the tailbone under. And then unpeel from the head and shoulders first. Allow the shoulders to widen and slide down your back. That's it. Coming back into that nice straight line. That's it. And again, one more from the head. Good. Lovely. All right, one more while we're on our hands and knees. We will do our front pull. So from there, step back with one long leg, step back with the other. So we're staying in a nice long straight back and slowly rocking forward and back for 3. So you're thinking, squeezing those oranges under armpits. The shoulders are not going up to your ears. If you're happy to hold it here, you can lift one leg and do the same thing, just on one leg. 3, rocking forward and back really slowly, and then change sides. Keeping your bums down, you're sliding your whole body forward and back through the shoulders, through the ankles and feet. And then when you've done, bend the knees, come back onto the floor. And again, give your little wrists a wriggle because they've worked hard today, although everything else was doing all the hard work. Now we're going to do a final bit of rotation because time is running away from us. I think for this one, you might need to sit on your blocks or your cushions because it's pretty hideous. I have to say, I can't do it. So I decided it must be worth trying. One leg nice and long, the other leg bent up. And actually you'll need to play around with where your bent leg is. Mine's going to be down by my shins. Focus is on staying tall, hands behind head. And to start with, we're just going to do our spine twist. So breathing in to rotate, breathing out to center. So feel how it feels, basically, to start with. Nothing too dramatic. Focusing all the time on spiraling upwards, staying as straight as you can. One more of these. This time, as we breathe in, we're going to stay there and hold it, and we're going to keep breathing, and we're just going to lift and lower that underneath leg, stopping ourselves from sinking back, and 2, and 1, and coming back. And then this time we're going to breathe in to rotate, keep breathing. We're going to lift and extend the underneath leg. So you're trying not to drop the leg, but keep it on the same line. I'm seeing it all through there. It's hideous. So it's good upper thigh work. See, I've sunk back, haven't I? Need to stay upright as well. Whoa. And 1. Oh, blimey. Give that leg a little bit of love. Then change sides. So find a position that you think you're going to be able to maintain. Breathing out, use the obliques and tummy button to spine to recenter you. Breathing in and breathing out. Keep that rotation going, keep the elbows wide, only going as far as those ribs will allow. Shoulders down and relaxed, sitting nice and tall on those cushions. And then this time, breathing in, holding it there. Keep breathing as you lift and lower. Try not to sink back. Keep breathing. Try not to hyperventilate, but definitely keep breathing. Should get the sweat going. Good. Oh, as ever, you're doing a much better job than I am. Wonderful. And then leg down, recenter yourself up. Final one. So breathing in to rotate, keeping tall, and then you lift and extend. Keeping upright. Might not be a very big extension at the knee. Keeping tall. So keep the leg lifted. It's so hard. That's it. Good, good, good. And 2. And 1. Yeah. Collapse in a heap. It's awful, isn't it? I thought that would be a bit of fun to do. All right, we'll stretch out. So considering we've just worked all of this area, let's lie back, extend one leg along the floor, just hold on to the other knee, and we will stir paint. I'd like you to do 10 circles in each direction. So still focusing on the rest of the body being really stable, so you can allow your big thigh bone to be really heavy in that hip joint. So 10 in each direction. It's really loosening off. And of course, when you've done your 10, no rush, change to the other side. Just start to relax, start to breathe. When you've done your own speed, come up to sitting so I can see who's finished. No rush. Good. Right. So then when you've done, hug when you come to sitting. Find your sit bones, hug one knee into the body, and as you cross it over the long leg underneath, take the opposite arm to the knee, hug and stretch round. Again, releasing out all the side of the glute muscles, hopefully. And then unpeel, put your leg, bent knee is on the inside of your thigh. Same side as the knee, arm reaches across towards your little toe. Then it comes round the leg, other arm comes around, and you're aiming to meet the hands. You might not, it might just be the intention, but it stretches out all of the muscles around the top of the back. And relax, change sides. So start with crossing one foot over the underneath leg. Opposite arm hugs that knee. And you're looking away from the knee, feeling the stretch through the glute and bum. You can press the underneath leg nicely into the mat as well for a bit of hamstring. And then unpeeling, bringing that knee onto the inside of the thigh. Same side as knee reaches for the little toe. Turn the palm away from the foot, wrap it around your leg. Other arm comes behind your body. Trying to get a lovely connection. And again, breathing deeply because all the rotations start to get the sweat going, which is good. Toxin release, if nothing else. Oh, breathing, breathing, breathing. And then relax. Coming on to your, sitting, we've just finished with side bends, so I know we're slightly over. So come with one foot in front of you, one towards the back, arms out to the side, and then reaching over to one side, Bend the elbow if you can. Feel that lovely stretch through the upper waist. Coming up and over. And again, up and over. Final time. Oh, I love my side bends. I know I keep going on about them. Switch to the other side. But my quadratus lumborum does give me a bit of jip, which then causes my hamstring to lock. And side bending releases that. So of course, I'm always being very selfish about what I do. I figure if it's good for me, it must be good for somebody else. Done. Oh, fantastic. Well done, everyone.